Good evening to this second edition of Offside, the programme that looks at Weston-super-Mare Football Club and takes the lid off things that are happening within the club. I'm Richard Sloan, and tonight my guests are Paul Bliss, chairman of the club, Craig Laird, who's the manager, and our young and up-and-coming goalkeeper, Lloyd Irish. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening. Evening.
This is your opportunity to ask questions. Please put them on either the westernsupertelevision.com, www.westernsupertelevision.com, or on the Facebook page for Weston-super-Mare. I'd like first of all to ask Paul, our chairman. Paul, this is a very difficult time for clubs in the league. Many of them are having financial difficulties. How do we, as a club, sort of survive that? You know, we've got Truro City who've had a lot of problems just recently. How do we manage as a club to maintain our position financially?
We only pay what we produce each year. We set a budget in February, and we know traditionally what the club's going to generate across all its sources of income. And once we've established that, then that's what we make available for the football management to play with, and we make sure we pay all our debts when they're due, most importantly that due to the Inland Revenue, and that is the area where most clubs fall foul.
Okay, fine. Would you say that our position at the moment, our financial position, would allow us to climb the table and maybe at some point in the future, I know the fans would be interested in that, to gain promotion to the next level?
Well, the budget's been set. That's what we've got available to ourselves. Whether we can go on and get promotion on that budget remains to be seen. There's no more there at the moment, but we're always looking for means of producing more, and as and when we do, we make it available. The club has always made any surpluses it's produced available to improving the facilities and improving the standard of play. The facilities now are set, so there's no more money to have to be spent on that. The stadium is fine, so anything that's generated goes towards the playing budget.
Okay. I mean, at the moment we are 11th in the league. We're doing extremely well. We've got a goal difference of 0. You've been chairman for many, many years. How do you feel today with the success that these guys are currently having?
I feel very pleased, particularly for the supporters who've been in the doldrums for now a few years, probably 3, maybe 4 years. And the supporters have turned up week in, week out, the regular ones that we have. And now they've got something to shout about. So I'm very pleased for them. And, of course, it takes pressure off the board as well. You know, it's much better to be involved in a side that's playing good football and winning games than it is fighting off relegation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's good. Yeah, it's good.
So these guys have been extremely good this season and, of course, last season. I'd now like to ask Lloyd Irish, our goalkeeper, a few questions. And I guess the first one, Lloyd, surrounds the fact that Craig brought you in at the beginning of last season, and you played, I think, nearly every game last season, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you've been ever present this year. How does it feel to come into a team like this? You know, what does it do to you? Does it boost the morale and so on?
Yeah, definitely. Moving up obviously gives you a bit more confidence because Craig obviously had confidence in us, all of us, to bring us in. But it was made a lot easier for myself stepping up a level when a lot of the other players did as well. So we sort of helped each other and adapted to it together. So, but it was a lot. It was my first game I was a bit nervous going into, but after that it was fine. Best league game.
Okay. We have a couple of questions for Lloyd, and the first one comes from Ian Russ. Good evening, Russ. Ian. Is Irish the best keeper in the league? And he says, best I've seen. Well, that Oxford United guy was good, though, but he's on loan from a proper team, I think. How do you feel about that, Lloyd? You know, best keeper in the league. Would you agree with that?
Well, it's one person's view, but there's a lot of good keepers in our league, but we just do what we can, all of us.
Okay. Ryan Archer, good evening Ryan, asks, are you the only goalkeeper that we've got, or do we have understudies within the club?
We've got another keeper who's been with us about a month now, from the youth team. He's a really good goalkeeper, and he's started coming to, well, he comes training every time and comes to some of the home games as well, so it's nice to have someone to warm me up as well. So it's pretty, and a bit of competition as well, some competition, so it's good.
Okay, good, fine. The questions are now coming in thick and fast, so please keep on sending them in. We have another one now from Ryan Archer, who is actually responding to one of the other comments, and I will read that out because it's very interesting to all of us to hear that. Ryan Archer says, yeah, I know, but what I mean is, this is Lloyd, does he ever feel like he's the only person in the squad whose position is not under threat? If he underperforms? I know Western are a small club, but every other position has some cover. What if he got injured? I suppose really that's the question for the manager, Craig, and I'll now turn to Craig and ask him that question. You know, what happens if Lloydie gets injured?
Well, I don't really want to to put the markers on it instead of touch wood that he doesn't get injured tomorrow, but we've got a good understudy in Dan, but if we felt we need to go and get a keeper to replace Lloyd either through lack of form of an injury, then that's something we would do. We've always got one or two keepers lined up if we need to bring one in at short notice, but hopefully we don't need to do that because Lloyd's exceptional goalkeeper for this level. And I've known Lloyd since he was a little lad and watched him progress through the system, going on to Yeovil and then playing for Taunton. I always felt if I was going to go to a higher level, he'd be one of my first signings, and promised him that, and he was, and he hasn't let me down. So more than happy to have him as the first team keeper, and hopefully he'll be there for the next 5 or 6 years and progress further, hopefully, in the game.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Just turning to Lloyd again, those of you that went to the Dartford game will remember that it was quite a difficult game. There were over 1,200 spectators there, and you, Lloyd, were, if you like, at the butt of people's jokes and comments and so on throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
How did you cope with that? I'm sure the viewers would like to know your reactions to that.
It's the butt of our jokes.
Yeah. We just try and blank it out, really. If you let it get you, then it just puts more pressure on yourself. But it's also it's not a bad thing when they're on your back as opposed to being behind their team cheering them on. So normally we see it as a positive, really, and just try and blank it out.
Yeah. And
wind them up even more.
It's a massive learning curve for, I think, all our players to play in front of big crowds, from where they've come. A lot of them, played in the lower divisions and they've played in front of big crowds, but when it's so vociferous as it is against Dover and Dartford and Chelmsford as well, it's a massive learning curve for them and a great experience and something they'll take on, hopefully, in the next couple of years, and it won't affect their performances. I think the first time it's quite a shock, but I think as we progress over the next couple of seasons, it's something they'll be able to cope with a lot easier.
Okay, fine. Finally, for now, Lloyd, do you have any superstitions that our viewers would like to hear about? Before you go out on the game, what do you have for breakfast in the morning, that sort of stuff?
I don't, to be honest. I just wake up and just get ready.
I thought it was Blue Square.
Yeah, but
or Paddy Power.
Yeah. No, I don't, to be honest. I have routine. I suppose I sit in the same seat every time because that's where my kit's put. I always like to go in after warm up a little bit early. But not like Nat sits in the shower before the game.
Yes, I think we heard about that last time. There was also another story about Nat, I believe, when we went down to Dover, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Losing keys and so on?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But it ended up, Pricey ended up having that on, so...
Yeah. But Nat's one of the other butts of the jokes.
Yeah. He's easy to get, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Craig, perhaps I could turn to you now. The burning questions, I think, coming through are regarding signings and so on over the last 24 hours or so. Could you tell the viewers what it was about Mark McGregor that persuaded you to sign him, and what asset you think he'll be to the team?
I've watched Mark play over the last couple of seasons before I became manager of Western-super-Mare. I've always rated him as a striker. He's a good player, he's a great attitude. He's going to be good to have around the change rooms for his experience with the younger players in the side. Hopefully he scores a couple of goals. He's got a good goal scoring record for the club. So all those things coming together, hopefully it'll give a little bit more to the team. I think we're lacking a an experienced player to take the pressure off all the younger players, and hopefully Mark will be that player to do that. So we're more than happy to sign him. But I've seen him play for a long time. I said over the last couple of seasons, he's a good player, like him, and a good chap as well, like him. So it'd be good to have around.
Okay. We now have another question, and this time it does pertain to Mark McGregor, and it comes from Chris Gordon. Good evening, Chris. For Craig. Is Mark McGregor going to be just a player or a player coach, as he was a coach at Worcester whilst still being a player?
Well, I think it would be daft himself not to use any experience that Mark's got to be able to assist the team and assist the players that we have around us. So any knowledge that Mark's has and anything that I can give to him to improve him as a coach, then yeah. But foremost, he'll be a player, and I'm sure as the season goes on, he'll get more involved with the coaching side and maybe pass on some of his experiences to the younger players. But yeah, definitely, if that's something he wants to do, then we're more than happy to go down that road with him, and maybe one day become a manager of Weston-super-Mare Football Club. Okay. Not too soon, I hope, but
no. I'd now like to ask Paul for his view from as the chairman.
Not
of
too
the club.
soon, Paul.
I may not ask the question. To ask Paul a question, as Craig has brought Mark in from a board perspective, how do you feel that signing will do good for the club?
I think Mark's going to be a great asset to the club. I've known him for many years. His attitude is good. He's good in the changing room. He's good to have around. He's very knowledgeable, and I see him as a plus. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. We now have another question, and this time it's from Ryan Archer. For Craig. Is Mark going straight into the starting 11 Saturday? And even more importantly, do you think him and Kaba can be a decent partnership?
Yes, I think they can be. I think Mark will be in the squad for tomorrow. We'll make a decision on the starting 11 tomorrow. I don't want to steal Paul's thunder, but Paul currently said he doesn't know whether they'll be able to keep up with Kaba. Which will be a difficult thing to do, I think, for many players. I think Mark will integrate into the system, and whoever he plays with, he'll make a great understanding with any of those players, and hopefully push Western forward into the playoffs, and that's what we're looking for. So it's my job as a manager to always try and bring in players that will always improve the squad, and that's my job. That's the remit of being given by Paul within the constraints of the budget, and we'll always try and do that. And so we're always looking for players to try and improve the squad, but they have to be as good, if not better, than what we've got, and we need that they're going to feel that they're going to integrate with the team and with the squad that we've already got, the work ethic, the team spirit, and if they can do that, then they're the right player for the side. But I get lots of approaches from lots of players every week that want to join us because of how successful we have been over the last year or so, but they've got to be the right player at the right time for the club. We can't just sign anyone, but I think Mark will do that. I think he'll fit that bill.
Yeah, I think the viewers would like to know about the approaches that you do get, because it's obvious from people within the club and behind the scenes that a number of players actually come to the ground and ask for trials and so on during the season, don't they?
They do, yeah. Well, it said you get a stream of emails, don't you, from the conference and from Football League saying that these players have been released. We get players that send their CVs in, and also people just turning up at the door. And I said it's important that we give these players an opportunity, because there might be a little gem there, but also we have to be realistic and say we can only carry a squad of 20, and I said they have to be better than the players we've already got, and that's always the measure. Like, if they're better than what we got, then we'll give them an opportunity at Weston. Okay. But they have to add other things, they have to be involved in team spirit, have to buy into what we're doing at Weston-super-Mare, and I think what we're doing at the moment is been successful so far, so we'll carry on doing that.
Thank you very much, Craig. Supporters, we are still looking for more questions from you. If you have a burning question that you want to ask of any of the panel tonight, please do come in on Facebook or on westernsupertelevision.com, and I'll do my best to pose the question, and no doubt we'll get good answers from the panel. Craig, can I ask you another question? We went down to Somerset Premier Cup last week and had a really good win against Bristol Manor Farm. How do you see that as part of the season? Does it do morale good? Is it a waste of time? Because you put out a full squad that night.
I think we owe it to the supporters, and I think we owe it to the club and the competition itself, to treat it with respect. I think that we can't choose what trophy we win. We have to try and win every trophy that's put in front of us, whether it's the FA Cup, the league, the FA Trophy, or the Somerset Premier Cup. We'll always do our best in every competition that we can. Now, if we were on a big FA Cup run, then we may have put the priority somewhere else, so the Premier Cup might have gone a little bit down the pecking order, but I feel that we should treat every competition as we want to try and win it, and to do that we have to pick the best side, and put the best side out to whoever we're playing, and I think that's been honourable to the Somerset Premier Cup as well. So no, we'll always do our best in any competition we're involved in.
Because Paul, it is expensive, isn't it, to run a team in competitions like the Somerset Premier Cup when, as Craig says, some clubs have seen it devalued by either not participating or putting out weakened sides. But we've always, certainly under Craig's leadership, put out a top quality side. How do you see that from the board's perspective? It's something that you'd like to see us progress in?
I think that's what we should have always done. We haven't always done it, and I've never interfered with the management, football management. And if they've chosen to pick a weakened side, really as a board, we've not sort of instructed them not to do that. But I think what Craig has said is right. We should field our best side, and certainly I know a lot of supporters that would have liked to have seen us do that in the past, which we have not always done. I'll be the first to acknowledge that, and I think it's absolutely correct to go and field the best side we've got and go and try and win the competition.
Yeah.
And it was lovely at the end of last season to do that and bring it home. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All these things, they breed confidence, don't they? And they bring a bit of something to the club. Supporters have won a trophy. And I think it does. It breeds confidence in the team as well. Like if you're winning, that's a great habit to be in, isn't it? And if you can win in a cup, then it's even better. So, we think they're all important.
I mean, we had a good level of support there on previous Tuesday night at Bristol Manor Farm. As things stand at the moment, the Somerset FA have not yet drawn the teams for the quarter-final. There was an appeal last night by Odd Down against a particular situation, which the Somerset FA are still working on, and so therefore the quarter-final draw has been delayed. But as soon as we know what it is, we will let you know. There was some comment on Facebook that we've been drawn against Frome Town. That clearly wasn't the case. As I say, the draw hasn't been made yet. Okay, we've had some difficult games over the last few weeks. Dover, where we're unlucky not to get a point there for various reasons. Dartford, where although we did very well there, we had a player sent off. Craig, would you like to tell our viewers how we managed the situation following his sending off? What did we do to try and ascertain what actually happened?
Well, at this level, most games are videoed. I went and seen the referee after the game and asked him his point of view of the sending off, because he said he's seen it differently to the majority of us, and I think quite a few of their supporters felt that Jamie was unfairly treated as well. I've asked him to watch the video and reassess his decision. He said he would do that. I don't think we've heard yet back from himself or the FA about the sending off yet. But we've watched the video itself. And even though we feel that the tackle was, should I say, competitive, we don't think it was worthy of certainly not worthy of a red card, and probably a yellow card at most. So we've got the opportunity to appeal. We haven't done that because we've taken advice from other clubs, and they feel that you're probably wasting your time using the video as appealing to the FA. So Jamie will take his punishment as it comes. But hopefully the referee's watched it, and he may have changed his mind on the decision and maybe just rescind it to a yellow. So
okay,
that's where we are at the moment anyway.
Okay, thank you very much. We now have two statements really, I guess, from our supporters, our viewers tonight. One is from Avin. Good evening, Avin. I hear Craig still joins in training and is top scorer. Is this true?
We always finish a game when I've scored. Yeah, of course we do. I do try and join in a little bit. just for my own personal enjoyment and try and keep myself a little bit fitter. But they're far too good for me, the players, and I'm sure it's only through sympathy that they let me score now and again. And then they usually take the mickey and pull my shorts down or something. So, yeah.
And I'm not sure whether I should read out the statement from Matt P. Good evening, Matt. But I guess even though it's only halfway through the season, I will. And Matt says, tell Craig he's the best manager we've ever had.
Who's Matt P?
Is that Matt Pegler, is it?
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now a further question. This is to the whole of the panel. If I can find it. Yeah. It's from Sam Frost. Good evening, Sam. And Sam says, as we are pretty much halfway through the season, how do you feel it has gone? And are we on target for the playoffs? Lloyd, would you like to kick in off that one?
Yeah, I think we've had a good start, really. We've had a tough run of games now where we've just come out of 5 of the top half, where we've just, and we didn't win in 5, but we're unbeaten in 3 now. And yeah, we played away at Woking, Dover, Dartford, so I think we've got a lot of the tough away games out of the way, so I think we're still on course for the playoffs, definitely.
Okay. Craig, did you share that view?
Yeah, I think we've accumulated more points than we did the season before I joined, so we're ahead of schedule there. We have come through quite a tough period with the FA Cup and the travelling to Dover and Dartford, playing Sutton and Eastbourne, who were a conference team last year. Physically it takes out the players, and emotionally as well. They're tough matches, and we're probably, I would say, 3 or 4 points away from where we really wanted to be, where I think we should have been at this time, and maybe we should have been in the next round of the FA Cup. So that's emotionally disappointing to the players. They've had to get over it. I think they've responded really, really well, and it shows the character of the player that we have at the club to get over such a big disappointment, because it was for everybody, like, you know. But they've got on with it now. We've got a win in the Premier Cup, which helps, you know. So and then we've got a decent win against Staines, and we've got a great draw at Dartford. And I think we should have got something at Dover. I know the Dover supporters and the Dartford supporters were disappointed in our performances at their clubs, but as I said, we don't owe them anything. We go there to look after Weston-super-Mare. We go there because I'm only interested in Weston and the success at Weston-super-Mare. I think we play great style of football when we need to, and I think we ground out 2 great results. And unfortunately, for the last minute at Dover, we'd have had another great point, you know. And if it upsets them, then it upsets them. It's not really my concern.
Okay, Paul, you've been chairman now for what? Is it 26 years? Is it
25?
25.
Old enough.
Well, how would you answer that question? You know, we're halfway through the season. Are we near the playoffs? How's it going? You know, from your experience, vast experience really, how would you feel the season's going so far?
It's going very well. We're still in touch. Just get a little run and you're amongst them again. And the boys have demonstrated they can beat the best out there. I mean, obviously Woking's a first-class team. The guy that's running them's had a lot of experience. He's seen it. He's been there and done it before. But it'd be nice to get in the playoffs. Yeah, yeah.
I've seen a lot of Western teams over the years. You know, quite a few of my friends played for Western during the Western League, and when they got into the Dr. Martens League then. So I know the success they've had and some of the good managers that they've had here, and they've had lots of success. They've gone through a bit of a lean period, but you know, the managers who were here at the time do their best. You know, and now it's my opportunity, and hopefully I can bring success to Weston-super-Mare. And for the supporters, because I tried to manage it like I'm a supporter, like, and what would I like? I want to see my team working hard. I want to see them honest. Yeah. And if we can play a nice style that people want to watch as well, even better. But the most important thing is that every time they go out and play for Weston, and they pull on the shirt and they wear the badge of Weston-super-Mare, they play as if they were supporters, and they give everything for the club for that 90 minutes. And I think most people can forgive them then if they lose.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, they certainly do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question from Ryan Archer. Good evening again, Ryan. This is your question to Paul. How involved do you like to be in the football side of the club?
Wow.
He picks a team every week. Yeah. How much more do you want to be involved?
No, I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing. Yeah, it's too big a job all of it. I mean, what?
Okay, we have a question now from Ollie Bliss. Evening, Ollie.
Ollie, I wonder who that is then.
What position does Craig think we will finish in?
What, the club itself, or myself playing?
Hopefully the team.
Right. I would like to think we'll get near the playoffs. I think if we could be touching on the playoffs with 4 or 5 games to go, I think that would have been a great season. I don't think we'll quite win it this year with the way Woking are flying and a couple of other sides, but I think if we can get near the playoffs and at least have a chance of getting in the playoffs with 2 or 3 games to go, I think that would have been a great season for us and exciting. And that would have been a improvement again on last year.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully I'll be in a job next year and maybe have a chance of getting to the playoffs, if not winning it next year. But that's always steady progression. I think since last year, I think we've progressed again. Got more points from last year. We carried on in the Cup. We had a better Cup run in the FA Cup, maybe not quite as far as we wanted to. We've still got the trophy to play in, so...
Well, we're further ahead this season than we were at this time last year.
Yeah.
And so, as you say, it's progression the whole way. And I think the supporters, from some of the questions that are being asked, are so involved in wanting the club to do well.
Yeah.
It's so great to see all these questions.
Of course it is.
We do have a comment from Craig Laird Jr. I'm not sure, Craig, whether I should read this.
Ring me.
Ring him. And it is for his dad. And the question is, to the old man, pal. There you go. Will my room still be available for when I come home at Christmas? Are you sure you really wanted to have said that tonight? Well, there you go. Okay.
I have to get the lodgers out first.
Now to a more perhaps serious question. This one is from Robbie Bangham. I think he's our commentator on the highlights of the games, and he is actually standing almost behind me in the room here. But Robbie's question is for Craig: how do you pick the players up after a disappointing result? E.g. the FA Cup game, or do the players in the squad do that themselves?
A little bit of both, I think. I've always said to the players that one of the worst traits I hate is self-pity and feeling sorry for yourself, because I think that during the 90 minutes you've got the opportunity to win the game, and if you don't put in the effort, you don't take your opportunities, you don't defend properly, then you don't deserve to win the game, and you can't blame anyone else but yourself. I know during a game you can get poor refereeing decisions, but he's not the one actually sticking the ball in the back of the net, Well, not generally. We haven't seen that this year with the referee heading the ball in, but... So, in the end, it's down to them. They've got the opportunity, and if they don't live up to those expectations and don't take their chances, it's their fault, and they should then get on with the next game and worry about that. So, I said self-pity doesn't do anything for me.
No, absolutely not, no. Well, time is moving on. We're nearly at the end of the programme this evening. I just want to finish with 2 or 3 questions about games that have been played this week, earlier in the week, and will be played on Saturday, tomorrow with Maidenhead United, and looking ahead to Salisbury City trophy game. How do you see, Craig, those games going? I mean, it's quite a build-up now, isn't it?
Tomorrow's a massive game for us. We need to get 3 points to push us right back to where I think we should be in the points tally we should have at this time of the season for the stature of the club. So tomorrow we'll be endeavouring to get 3 points, and we'll do our best to get that. The players train well on Thursday night. We've got a couple of little niggling injuries, but I think we'll be okay. Matt Villas should be fit for Saturday. Hopefully Maidenhead will have their half an eye on the FA Cup replay they have, because they've got a big tie if they get through that. So I think hopefully with those 2 things we should be able to pick up 3 points and then have a little bit of a break and go into the game against Salisbury, which will be another tough match, and we'll be missing Martin Slocum and Jamie Price through suspension. So another little headache for us, but as I said, that's the reason why we carry a squad like we do. We've got good players who are in the background who will come in, and I'm sure we'll do a great job for the team.
Yeah, that is a question from Sam Frost. Hello, Sam, who actually asked, are there any plans for signing some cover at centre-half, as Villas tends to pick up the odd injury, and we only have the 3 with first-team experience? Yeah,
we've always got our eye on a couple of players, but it's really difficult to carry cover for every position. So we've got a small squad. We haven't got a massive budget, but it's big enough to what we're trying to do. We'll take care of it as it comes. We will take care of it, and just trusting that we've always got other irons in the fire somewhere else if we need to pull in someone desperately quick to cover a position. But I'm more than happy with the squad we got. I don't like lots of changes. I don't like to have lots of players sitting out. You know, it's hard to keep good players happy as well if they're not playing. And I just think we need to work with the players that we've got. We said we would do that. I think that's something I said when I first took over the job, that you wouldn't see lots of different signings coming in every week, that we would always try and make a signing now and again just to complement what we're doing. But I think we've got the squad that we want. We just need to trust them and work hard with them.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the programme. I'd like to thank our panel of Paul Bliss, Chairman, Craig Laird, Manager, and Lloyd Irish, our goalkeeper. If you've enjoyed tonight's programme, please let us know. Please let westernsupertelevision.com know that you've enjoyed it, or through our Facebook. We will do another Offside in next month, and we look forward to seeing you all at the Woodspring Stadium tomorrow afternoon, Maidenhead United, kick-off 3 p.m. Thank you for watching.